This is Chuck and Mike at Team 603. We've had a bunch of requests about what we've had to put into this rig to get it Baja ready, and especially our East Coast fans that don't really know what it takes to get something prepared for that.
Yeah. So we figured we'd put together this little video for you guys that kind of gives you an idea of what's involved in getting something equipped before you head out to a race like this. To start off with, this is a 2022 Can-Am Maverick X3 XRC Turbo RR. So it's the X3 chassis. The RR, it just means it's the 205 stock horsepower.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
We started with we'll work from the front to the back here. This is CT Raceworks. It's a bulletproofing kit, basically, to strengthen the front end. The way these are designed, the shocks are supported by the rear, and this supports it and ties it down to the frame from the front. So the shocks are actually the mounts are being sandwiched instead of just being mounted from the back and supported. So this basically doubles the strength of your front end. It comes stock with skid plates. These are the stock skid plates. These are shock therapy limiter straps that helps your shocks from getting pulled apart and wear and tear on them.
It's also these limiter straps protect your joints on your drive shafts from full extension.
The skid plate is, I think it's UTV source, and these skid plates are probably 2/3 the thickness of the stock one. You know, we got the stock rock crawling edition for those kind of, for the skid plates and the extra braces, and we actually wore the first year we ran the stock skid plate, and we wore the front and the back out completely. So we had to get something a little more substantial, and these are much thicker. This is a Phoenix horn. We need to have a horn in order to race. You need to be able to notify the people in front of you that you're there. So that's what we got here. In hindsight, it's a good place for it, but the positioning of it is poor because when you hit water, it lets water up into the cone and doesn't drain. So it works great until you hit water.
Yeah, so we also did one of the better upgrades we ended up doing. This is Double E Racing shock upgrade, okay? They revalved everything and made sure that it was, and resprung everything just to make sure that for our application during the race that this was gonna work well. They took weights and all the specs after we had this fully built, even down to what the specific weight was in every corner of the buggy to make sure that these were valved the right way for the conditions we were gonna be running in. Up here, we actually have custom intrusion bars. This was through Lucky Gunner Garage. This assists for any objects as you're racing that may want to enter the cabin. This will prevent that from happening.
Cattle.
Yeah, cattle, donkeys, So Gus over at Lucky Gunner fabricated this. It's a custom piece. It's a one-off. He did a great job. He also welded up all of the mounts and threw a gusset kit in for this is our Lowrance backup GPS system with our transmitter. And then over here, this is our Garmin Desert Series navigation system. So this is our main source of communication. This is gonna be the Garmin, the Desert Series GPS system with that removable face. We end up getting these through PCI race radios. This you get with 2 head units. One of the head units you place in your race vehicle, and the other head unit is actually in the chase truck. This actually allows you to see at a couple pushes of the buttons where the chase truck may be at any given time on the peninsula, and vice versa. So the chase truck can actually check up on the race buggy to see if you're stationary, if you're moving, what your current status is. This also allows us the ability to message. So we text message through satellite that chase truck, and we can communicate in that manner if we're out of radio frequency. So this is our main source that we use for the waypoints and the roadmap, all the cautions on our way. It uploads all 6 days of the race and tells us what we need to expect right up in front of us. The Lowrance, this is another form of navigation system. This is our backup. This doesn't give as much information as your Garmin, but at least allows you to to get out in the event that you're hung up and your GPS with Garmin is not working.
And it is not a fish finder.
Yeah, that is not a fish finder. So that will allow us to get out if we needed to. PCI race radios as well on the head unit. This is going to be our inside communication for Chuck and I to communicate in helmet. We plug those in right through these wires, both his and mine. We have speakers set up inside of them, so there's no push to talk. This we just talk and we can hear each other back and forth and communicate. It also has Bluetooth capabilities. We haven't really found a use for that. Maybe other teams do have a use, but we haven't had to use that Bluetooth functionality of that yet. So we can tell each other what's coming up and what to expect, and also a couple jokes here and there. This is a VHF radio as well. It's a high frequency radio system. Allows you to communicate through radio to the truck and everything else. This is a Phoenix. This allows us to control all of our flood lighting, our horns, our chase lights, all in one panel, so we're not searching all over the buggy to try to find the right button. We do also have this button here. This is an AGM auxiliary fuel cell. That fuel cell on this particular model goes underneath the seats, and that is plumbed directly into this side here. All the tubing comes up through the stock gooseneck for filling up your fuel tank. That's the nozzle to fill it once that button is engaged. We actually had thrown in 2 fuel pumps in series. That's in case one of them fails. And the other one, we just unplug the one that we're running, and then we plug in the other one. That's a pass-through. So then the other one will be able to pump the fuel in case one of them does fail. We did put this past year a fire extinguisher mounted on the inside of the cabin, as well as the 2 outside of the cabin, in case we do have any kind of unfortunate fires or events that take place. And then also, before I give it back over to Chuck, we have PCI race radios. This is going to be the helmet pumper system. That allows us on the helmet to, these hoses mount right up really quickly with a magnet mount. And that is a filtration system, which it's kind of a dual purpose. It filters the air with all the dust that is entering the cabin from the Baja before it comes through, and it also creates a constant wave of air down from top to bottom, and your helmet acts like a bladder. There's like a dust curtain, and that air exits through that bladder into your suit and keeps the dust out from inside of your helmet. Chuck?
All right, we'll stay in the cab here. We use PRP race harnesses. One thing we learned in this that we're not going to do in the new one is we're going to go with PRP seats. We ran the stock seats, and they weren't the most comfortable. So there's those. What else we got in here? The window nets. We had Lucky Gunner Garage mount these for us. They are All-Star Performance. And these are basically just to keep debris from coming in, and if you were to roll, to keep your arms from going out. Back here, we got Rock Knocker mud flaps. These aren't really for getting the vehicle dirty. It's more actually to protect your brakes. Because what happens in these vehicles is the front tires flip up the rocks, and they end up right into the brakes and prematurely wearing your brakes out. We also went with a gusset kit reinforcing the trailing arms, which is this piece right here and this piece right here. Normally the stock vehicles come without that, so that's supposed to add a lot of strength to it. We got shock therapy limiter straps again in the back, and we have the quick access clutch cover. So basically they're all cotter pins instead of unscrewing about 20 screws. So it's a lot quicker to access and a lot easier. The back, Lucky Gunner Garage did a tire mount for us. We have a cold air intake from Can-Am. In the back there, the rigid chase lights.
So we replaced the exhaust. This has actually got a dump out valve. So it actually increases your horsepower just through airflow, where you can engage it or disengage it. When it is engaged, meaning open, that exhaust will exit here, and it allows that little bit more breathability and airflow. And then we can actually close that valve, and this will be where the exhaust exits at that point. This is off of last year's race. That's the titanium piece that did break when we had to use the Kirkland coffee can in order to fix it, but just gives you an idea of where that servo motor sits. And that valve goes down through there, and there's a little flapper. Kirkland. Yep. Kirkland coffee can.
The one thing we did learn is the titanium, although they're lighter, it's a lot more brittle. So on our new rig, we're going to run stainless. This will give us a little more strength.
Yep.
This is a lot of weight. When you start bouncing, it puts a lot of pressure on the exhaust itself. So we've done some more exhaust mounts, but we also went with stainless, just because it was stronger.
Yep. Okay, so these are just Method race wheels that we ended up using, which is a full bead lock. Pretty important out in the desert. Method offers a full bead lock and also a bead grip. Both really, really good technology and essential for the terrain that you're running out in the Baja. This coming year, we did choose to go with a bead grip. We're going to be going with those. These are the Tenzer Desert Series tires that we're running. We actually decided on the same tread for this coming year as well. Performed very, very well during our race. So another item for communication, there is what they call a Stella system. The Stella system is required, and every race buggy is required to have it. So this is the Stella mount. Once we get down to the race, this is where the head unit will be. And if you look up here at this sticker, this kind of gives you an idea, the buttons on that Stella, what they mean. So you can actually, with the series of buttons, you can signal that there is an emergency. You can communicate through GPS with NORRA, so they know if there is a problem. This allows you to send a signal to a driver that may be directly ahead of you, to let them know that you would like to overtake them, and then they can communicate back by hitting that green button to let you know that they know you're there and that it's okay to pass. So this Stella system is essential for communication
For safety, really.
during that Baja race.
We also we didn't need this, we had a Baja design light bar, which, as you can see, is not rollover proof. So that's that. That's my fault. I did that one. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
So thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of what goes into this. And we'll also have another video soon with the upbuild of our new buggy coming, the new 2025 Can-Am Maverick R.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.